Welcome to Who's Your Neighbor? I'm Terry McGill, and I'm one of your neighbors. And this evening, we've got neighbors from all over. We have a couple of experienced Tao Healing Hands practitioners from the East Coast, outside of Toronto. I understand they're now living in a tiny village of 800. Must be really peaceful. And we also have a guest who will be receiving Tao Healing Hands blessings. And we'll go into that. But just for a moment, let me give you some background on Who's Your Neighbor. This show started about 2 years ago when I was doing live events in a suburb of Portland, Oregon, where I live. And when COVID came onto the map, it was like a week after I heard about it. I was like, I don't want to be inviting people into a small room anymore. I mean, it wasn't small. It was like 20 by 25 feet. But we didn't know. We were scared to death of COVID when we began hearing the stories about it, and a lot of them were true. So I had to learn to do Zoom in a week. And that's where this grew from. Who's Your Neighbor is about who is your neighbor. What I like to do is invite, and I've got help, so it's not just me. Who are those people in your community? And it's a worldwide community anymore. Who is it you've never met and you might never hear of? So we have had as a guest the woman who, as a college class one summer, I mean, she was a college professor, but she was taking some ongoing education. And she started up a library for the unhomed. We don't use the word homeless, for the unhomed, on a bicycle. Can you imagine a library on a bicycle? Yes, they prefer paperbacks to hardcovers. They're lighter. And you can put more of them into the bicycle book rack. And many others. I forget what episode this is now, somewhere up in the 30s. And tonight, we have the two Tao Healing Hands practitioners. And we'll have to ask them how long they've been offering these healings. So I'd like to introduce you now to Stephen Colwell and Avi Sangha from a little town outside of Toronto. What is the name again?
New Lowell.
New Lowell. I probably won't remember that, but welcome.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Now, I know I've met you both I've known you for years, but we just haven't seen each other for a couple of years. And it's really wonderful to have you in the same virtual room with me again. One of the things that I don't know, and neither do our viewers, how many years have you been a Tao Healing Hands practitioner?
So for me, Terry, first of all, thank you for having us, everyone who's part of this show, and all the audience who's going to watch this show. We are so honored and grateful, and we are grateful for this effort. This is such a beautiful show. The idea is so beautiful. So thank you for all you are doing. And so coming back to the Tao Hands practitioner journey, I became Tao Hands practitioner in 2011, actually. I've been offering healing through this transmission for a very long time. I have many layers of it. As we know, you can grow in this journey and receive many layers of empowerment through this program, this special program. And so I've been actively using my Tao Hands for years, and I still use it every day. And I'll let Steve share when he became a Tao Hands practitioner. Please go ahead.
So hello, neighbors. So nice to be here. Nice to connect with our friends in the Portland area and around the world. I became a Tao Hands practitioner in, I believe, 2014. So about 8 years now. Before that, it was Divine Healing Hands was the modality that Master Sha offered us. And it's been just amazing to be accepted to become a Tao Hands healer and be able to offer service to people who are facing challenges in their lives. And the vast majority of the time seeing an immediate positive effect when delivering the blessings has been quite satisfying. And of course, Masha always reminds us we're not, as healers, doing anything. We're simply channels through which the divine's healing light comes through to those in need. And to be able to offer that is quite an honor, as Avi said. So we're very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that you recognize that you're a channel. You're not doing it yourself.
Right.
I know some people believe that it's them, and I personally believe that that's limiting. But would you each share a memorable experience that others have had when you've offered these blessings?
So I'll start. Over the years, so I had many, like countless stories, but I would like to share a personal one because of how I used the Tao Hands. So a few years ago, my technology was having issues. So my computer, our washer dryer, and it was quite significant at that time. The issues were quite significant. And I was quite distraught when everything started to fall apart. We were living in a rental place, and we were trying to settle. We had just moved from Colorado, and I just closed my eyes and I asked heaven. I said, "What should I do?" And I heard the message. Heaven said, "Use your Tao Hands." And then I'm like, "Oh my God!" For technology, I never thought about that. So then I did, and washer dryer. It healed. I don't know how to make sense of it. It healed it. The transmission actually healed the issue, whatever the blockage was. And same goes for my computer. So this is one story that I want to share because people forget to use your Tao Hands. If you are a Tao Hands practitioner, you want to use it everywhere, wherever you see a blockage. So it transforms blockages, and blockages can manifest in any aspect of our life, and also anything and everything in your home, in your surroundings, in your environment. So this was like awakening for me to use my Tao Hands more in daily life. So I've been doing it ever since, like every day. If there's anything going off, I know where I'm going. I'm going into my Tao Hands. I'm turning it on right away. Even I am so used to it, and Stephen too. And one time I was experiencing nighttime pain in the body, like whole body pain. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, what do I do? And I turned on my Tao Hands, and instantly, the pain gone. And a few days later, I shared it with Steve, and Steve goes, "Oh my God, I do the same." Whenever I feel at night, we're tired, it's like instant healing. And I am so grateful I have this tool that I can use anytime for anything. So very grateful.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Internet, computer, washer and dryer. Wow.
Yeah.
And Stephen, besides yourself in the middle of the night.
So I think I use my Tao Hands at least 3 times a day, most days. It's automatic. If something comes up for me personally, some sort of discomfort or situation requiring a blessing, just automatic. You can use your Tao Hands on yourself, of course, as well as others. And it's amazing how that immediate use when something comes up can prevent an issue from becoming bigger or not. But I wanted to share the story about when I first had my Tao Hands. I wanted to let my family know because I was interested in having family members receive the blessings. And I have two sisters, one in out there in Portland, Oregon with you guys, and one in Boston. And I was on the phone with my Boston sister, and I let her know that I had this healing treasure and she could take advantage of it. Both of my sisters are somewhat spiritual. They know who Master Sha is. They understand the power of self-healing. And there wasn't an opportunity to give each of them a blessing on the spot, but my sister said, I need a healing for my back. And Jeannie in Portland fell and twisted her ankle. Her ankle's throbbing. Could you give her a healing for her ankle? Is that something that this is for? I said, absolutely. I'll do it later this afternoon, and then we'll talk tomorrow. So I gave the blessing at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Boston time. And as I often do, I forgot to return the phone calls to my sisters right after the blessings or even the next day. The end of the next day, my Portland sister called and she said, did you do something to me? And I said, what do you mean? And she says, well, I was talking to Joanne and she said you were offering a healing blessing with something called Tao Hands. Did you do that for my ankle? And I said, yeah, I did yesterday. And she says, well, around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, 2 o'clock Pacific time, the time zone difference, she says, the pain just started to go away and it's completely gone now from my ankle. So she did not know I had given her a blessing. She didn't ask for the blessing specifically in real time, but she felt the effect and then found out afterwards that it had been because of the Tao Hands blessing. I then talked to my sister in Boston and I let her know what happened. And I said, how's your back? And she says, it's all better. It's, yesterday I couldn't sit in the chair without it hurting. Now I can sit in the chair, I can get up, I can bend. That's just one blessing for two family members that had a very positive healing effect. Oftentimes we can offer a Tao Hands blessing, and it may take more than one blessing to have a noticeable positive effect on the recipient. You never know what the underlying root cause severity is that's causing pain for somebody if we're talking about a physical healing blessing. But again, like Avi, over the years, there's been countless incidents where we use our Tao Hands, the person gets back to us and indicates either total success, total clearing of blockages, totally feeling better, however they phrase it, or they report some improvement, and then we continue a series of blessings with them as much as we can with our treasure. But it's amazing healing capability that Master Sha has made available to people who wish to become healers. And we have many stories, but those are just a few, Terry.
Thank you so much for sharing. And for our viewers who are not familiar with Master Sha, who's been mentioned several times, Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha is a Western-trained medical doctor, traditional Chinese medicine doctor. He has a master's in hospital administration and ran a hospital in the Philippines for, I think, 7 years. And then he continued to develop his personal abilities that he'd started when he was literally 4 years or 6 years old. And he's since, I believe, 2010, he's been able to transmit the ability for us to become, first it was Divine Healing Hands, and now Tao Healing Hands healers, or channels is a much more clear term for it. And the results are really stunning at times. And like everything, there's no guarantee, and it's not 100% successful because there's so many factors involved. The interesting thing to me is that it evidently does not depend on belief. And I really appreciate, Stephen, your sharing that your sister in Portland did you do something to me? You knew it without even knowing it was going on. That's wonderful. It takes away some of the skepticism that I used to have. When you that's not the first story I've heard like it's like I was a hard sell, but it's like, yeah, I know it works. So we have a person right now who was diagnosed some months back with thyroid cancer and actually has had her thyroid removed. She's experiencing significant anxiety, and I would like to invite her, and since she's primarily English as second language, we also have Anita who will translate. And I would like to invite both of them on, and then Avi and Stephen, if you would just take over, do your job.
Beautiful.
To serve.
We're grateful. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome, Nellie, and thank you, Anita, for translating. Avi and Stephen, go for it. I'll watch.
Okay, perfect. So, Anita, can you ask Nellie? The anxiety is because of the health condition, the thyroid was removed, or it's general in life? She's experiencing anxiety.
Nelly, la pregunta es para ti, si esta ansiedad de la que has estado sufriendo, si es a consecuencia de la cirugía o es una ansiedad que has tenido ya por tiempo.
Ya la he tenido por tiempo. Intenté tratarla y se calmó después de la primera cirugía, pero volvió después de esta segunda y como con mucha fuerza.
¿Cuándo fue la primera cirugía?
Mi primera cirugía fue en el 2021, febrero 2021.
Okay.
Y me retiraron la tiroides completa.
Sí.
Retiraron.
Sí, sí. So she has had 2 thyroid surgeries, and the first one was in 2021, and the second one was very recently, and they took her whole thyroid out due to cancer. And so her anxiety has been going on for a long time. But after the first surgery, things come down a little bit. But after this surgery, it was almost for her like a trigger. It's just been quite severe.
Okay. So we're going to work on 2 things. We're going to, Steve and I, we're going to share. We're going to do one blessing for the heart, because if the heart is not balanced, that's how we can get anxiety and depression. So one would be for the heart, and one blessing will be for the condition of anxiety. So what I saw was there are triggers. I did see triggers. I did see fear. I did see other types of emotions involved in that is triggering this anxiety. So we're going to do both together. So Nellie, you just have to close your eyes, relax.
Let me explain to her when you're ready.
Perfect.
What you just said. Okay, la maestra Abby dice que te van a ofrecer 2 bendiciones, Nelly. Una para tu corazón, porque el corazón es el encargado de las emociones. Y la otra para la ansiedad. Y dice que tú tienes ¿cómo se dice? Como cosas que te provocan, como algo que te activa esa ansiedad, ¿no? Entonces te van a dar una bendición para las emociones y la otra bendición para tu corazón. Y cada uno de ellos te va a ofrecer una de las bendiciones. Pero ella, cuando tú hablaste, ella pudo observar que tienes esos, después te busco la palabra, como que algo que te activa y después te lo busco la palabra para decírtelo con exactitud.
So Anita, tell her to close her eyes and just receive the love and light, and kind of breathe into your body. Tell her to breathe into her body, relax, receive into her heart, and kind of have that in her mind. Tell her to have it in that she's going to heal. That positive intention, that positive message, and we're going to start whenever you deliver that message.
Great. Nelly te pide que cierres tus ojos, que inhales, que te relajes y que tú visualices cómo vas a sanar o que estás sanando y que eso se está transformando. Vas a visualizar eso y ya cuando yo te dé este mensaje, ellos van a comenzar a transmitir la bendición.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right away, I can feel she relaxed. Her heart is relaxed. It's already beautiful, but here is our invocation. We're going to do it actually a silent invocation, if that's okay, Terry. And we will sing our soul song together. And if we need to explain what that is, please let us know. But we will do the healing work, and you can ask us questions. We will love to explain further.
Can I
So
say that?
when you say soul song, you'll be doing some kind of toning or
We will sing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so prepare.
Tú nada más relaja y prepárate para recibir. Abre tu corazón a recibir.
And the blessing only as appropriate for beloved Nelly, for her heart and for the condition of anxiety, starts. And stay in the field for a few seconds. Just continue to receive. Allow it to settle in your being.
Continúa recibiendo.
And I saw negative memories releasing. Negative memories.
Memorias negativas se están alejando, se están yendo.
Negative memories of sickness. I also saw fear being transformed.
Emociones negativas de miedos.
And also I saw almost like a trauma.
Vi como un trauma.
And the trauma was like it's anticipation of now what's next, what's going to happen to me next.
Ese trauma estaba como un aspecto de que ¿qué seguirá? ¿Qué va a seguir? Como que esperabas algo.
She was loved so much by heaven. This blessing brought so much love, and angels were around her, and she was being consoled and being given the message that it's going to be okay. Trust my daughter again.
Has sido tan amada, te rodeaste de angelitos, el cielo te estaba acurrucando, te sigue acurrucando y te dicen, mi hija, vas a estar bien, vas a estar bien.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Muy
Thank you for
hermosa.
allowing us to serve.
I'm wondering if Nellie is in dreamland somewhere.
She looks beautiful.
Yo te miraba muy hermosa, muy relajadita.
Thank you. Thank you. Logré sentir sus corazones y sus bendiciones. Thank you.
I can feel your heart and your hearts, and I can feel the blessing.
Beautiful.
Muy lindo.
Thank you very much.
That's wonderful.
Qué hermoso.
I'm just so grateful to be able to be, even though it says host, I'm just a piece of the machinery.
You're holding us all together. You are important. You're creating the space for us.
Right, but I'm a screw pulls together things too, and it's important. I'm not diminishing that, but I'm also aware that I don't do this. We had just to be candid and transparent. It was a challenge for Michelle and I to find a demonstration person this time. It was like, wow. And finally, it was only yesterday. And then here's beautiful Nellie, who has received this, and the power of this blessing. My sense of it is it's just immense. Anita, do you want to translate any of this?
Sí, están hablando cómo se sintió, dice Terry, que aunque él no como que no tenía nada que ver en esto porque son los maestros quienes te están brindando la bendición. Dice que él sintió mucha emoción y mucha energía. Y él tiene recibe el mensaje que es una bendición muy grande para ti. Ha sido una bendición muy grande. Sí. And I'm going to tell her something I haven't said to you, but I felt that I was receiving the blessing myself. My heart expanded so enormous. Y lo que me sucedió a mí durante tu bendición, Nelly,
Sí.
sentí mi corazón tan expansiado, se llenó de luz y mucho amor. Simplemente estar presente mientras tú recibías tu bendición.
Sí, fue muy bonito. Fue algo impresionante que me tiene emocionada. Y no tengo dolor, simplemente estoy llorando de la emoción, del amor que sentí, no sé, como cariño, no lo sé. Algo muy bonito.
I am crying because it was so beautiful. I felt so much love. I'm not crying due to pain. I am crying because I felt so loved. I felt so much love. This is what she's saying.
I saw that. She's so loved. You are so loved, Nelly. And I hope you heal so quickly and, let us know.
Yo miré eso, yo miré que eres muy amada. Los seres te abrazaban y vas a sanar pronto. Y avísanos, dice, danos a saber cuando ya sanaste.
Thank you. Claro que sí.
Of course, I will let you know.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nellie, for being here tonight, and Anita for translating for us. I'm very grateful.
Thank you for the honor to be able to interpret for Nellie and for everyone. It is my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, Nelly.
Wonderful. And for our viewers, I would like you all to know that Avi and Stephen do worldwide different offerings, teachings. I've just been amazed at different people that I would talk to, and they go, "Oh yeah, I know Avi." It's like, you're going to have her on the show tonight. Whoa! So we've got a lot of people who want to watch it because they're not able to at this time because they're doing something else. What? It's when? No, but I'm doing something. That's okay. It's recorded. So we are on Facebook Live, and you just go to Facebook Live. Let's see, facebooklive.com/Master Shaw Tao Center Portland. And you'll be able to see all of the episodes, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's 30-something episodes.
Wow.
And so they're there if people want to go there and look at the ones that have already been done. But we also translate those, whatever the electronics term is. I know Stephen knows. Somebody makes them pop up onto and then gives me a link for YouTube.
Mm.
Very technical, Terry. Perfect.
I am not the technical guy on this show. Yeah. So it has been so good to see the two of you again and hear and feel. I could feel that healing energy too. And that
Yeah,
was
I think Kevin arranges for Nellie to be here tonight. She's such a beautiful soul, and the amount of light healing that she received from heaven was quite substantial. And I think everybody's emotional that was involved in watching this. So it's our honor to always to be able to serve others in any way. And especially with these very special Tao Hands blessings that have such a powerful positive effect on the recipients. So thank you again.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. And for our viewers, my cohort in the background, our producer person, has already posted the email and the website where you can reach both Avi and Stephen. And I invite you to avail yourself of their channeled services. And you've seen them, you hear them, you know their hearts. So I'm just so grateful. For me, this was a reconnection as well as the service, and so I look forward to seeing you both again in person one of these days.
One of these days.
And for all of our viewers, every Tuesday, no, it is Tuesday. Okay. After the show, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on? Every Tuesday, we're here on Who's Your Neighbor? And the banner that you see down below Mikey, my microphone, and me, if you're interested in learning more about, what is Tao Healing Hands, I'd like to learn more, know more, you can click on this link and it'll be put into the chat room, and it'll be there forever until the internet falls apart. And it's called 5 Levels of Creation, Portland.com, Tao Healing Hands, Portland. So the 5 levels of creation you will learn about as you, if you take the training. And it refers to how we heal, the ways that we heal. And it's so practical. It took me a while to learn it, but now it's like, wow, sure glad I know about that. So until next week, I'm Terry McGill. Who's Your Neighbor? We'll bring you one more or two next week. Thank you for tuning in.